What if I told you I can help you systematically develop a personalized expertise that is genuinely aligned with your creative identity? Not to become an A+ imitation of anyone else, but to embrace who you are as a creative musician. At the Inspired Contemporary Pianist, we are building systems for you and with you to optimize your skill set and mindset so you can thrive. I'm Dr. Peter John Stoltzman, pianist, educator, and mentor. My mission has always been to help musicians tap into their unique voice, master the learning process, and experience the joy of music through intention and connection. And now I'm inviting you to join the Inspired Contemporary Pianist community. This is not just another piano course. This is a complete ecosystem designed around you, the creative musician who is craving the joy of learning, craving next-level breakthroughs, and systematic strategies for optimizing your thinking in practice and performance. I know what a difference it makes to get that clarity and to have a consistent accountability. Let me save you the pain of six-figure debt doing a doctorate like I did. In the Inspired Contemporary Pianist, I hand on to you all the things I have learned through 30 years of professional and academic experience. Whether you're a passionate hobbyist or pursuing music professionally, I'm here to help you grow. Everyone is invited to the Inspired Contemporary Pianist free community. It's a hub where pianists support each other, exchange insights, and build momentum together. You can get access to my online live sessions and a variety of resources for practicing and performing. Within the community, you can explore our Academy, featuring a growing library of courses crafted from decades of real-world performing and teaching jazz and commercial piano styles and techniques. Learn voicings, comping, improvisation, rhythm section fluency, and creative arranging all on your schedule. For those who want direct feedback and live interaction, there's the Mastery Group, including individualized feedback on your playing and practicing, monthly live rhythm section sessions, and access to our guest artist masterclasses. And of course, tons of other valuable resources and access to all of the courses. And when you're ready, our studio recording mentorship is the highest level of training, combining performance, composing, arranging, and career-focused coaching, culminating in a recording session at a top professional studio. Join us. Get inspired. Get real results. What's up, y'all? All right, I'm trying to go live on Instagram today too. I think it's actually working first time. So, yay for technology when it works. Maybe. Also, though, I know that it's going to show up in vertical, and we are living in horizontal here with the piano. So, you should, if you're on Instagram finding this, you should just hop on over to YouTube and join me there. I put the link in the chat, but I don't know if that's any use because I'm sure you're on your phone and you can't click it. But just come over to my channel at Peter John Stoltzman at YouTube, and you'll find the live right there. So let's see. I have to activate my Zoom too. Oops. Let me do that real quick for my community members in the Inspired Contemporary Pianist community. Sorry, guys. Cats. It's not all just guys. All right. Let's see. Let's get you all in here. I think this is it. All right. There we go. All right, we're live on Zoom too. Okay. So today I think it's going to be a fun one, especially for those of you who are craving something um, really like next level. Uh, I tend to toggle as a teacher, honestly as a player too sometimes, but especially as a teacher between like very high level stuff and and really like fundamental level stuff. I love that journey. It's part of what keeps me being a teacher and happy about it and inspired. Uh, and uh, and I've always loved lots of different styles of music, and so I've drawn a lot of connections in there in my teaching curricular resources that I've developed over the years. Um, and today we're going to live very much on the pro level of advanced piano comping. So this is a jazz specific lesson, although we can apply some of the principles and strategies here as well to jazz adjacent styles for sure. And especially to composing also. This is not just jazz comping. Anything that is improvisational or compositional in jazz, I think, can be applied outside of real-time pressure playing a tune creatively in your composition and arranging world. So I just love the crossover of skills and knowledge that exists. Let's see, I want to make sure I'm trying to see chat because I see somebody's already saying hi. Hey, Umiharu. Hey, nice. Thanks for showing up. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. So let's get into it. Now, I've touched on some of these things before, but I think they're very valuable, and it's kind of in the sequence of events here that I've been going through. The last live session that I did about comping was a few weeks ago, and we focused on more of the fundamentals of comping. And now we're going to jump right in on that next level of what are some of the things that we can do that are really pro level. So we're going to talk about voicings, particularly quartal voicings through scales and in multiple ways. So going through a mode, going through in parallel, and voicing melodies. And then we're also going to hone in very specifically on tension and release strategies using in and out pairs and 5-to-1 tension and releases and chromatic parallels. Today, I may or may not touch on like diminished leading stuff. It's like a whole other world, and once we open that door, we wind up in another lesson that needs to be like an hour plus. So I'm gonna start in quartals, and I may just stay there, but I also want to show you how that applies to things like clusters and textures, and just standard voicings potentially. Bill Evans and some other pianists like him got a lot of mileage out of just triads too sometimes. So maybe we'll touch on that. But let's start with quartals. And by quartals, I mean voicings that are mostly or entirely in fourths. So I was playing a very high testosterone Afro-Cuban gig last night here in Denver. And it wasn't all Afro-Cuban, but majority. And man, I haven't been doing Matuno stuff in a while. And so it was really a chops buster. But it got me thinking about some of the stuff. We played a Donald Brown tune. We played like a Caravan. We played what else? Night in Tunisia. And I was thinking about tunes like that, like Recordame too is a good one. I went back and listened to Recordame this morning and thought I would reference McCoy Tyner's comping on that record. But we could also talk about a tune like Caravan, which would be a good one. looking like particularly at the bridge, and how you might comp in there, or a tune like Night in Tunisia, where you have a built-in 5-1 in the in the harmony, right? So yeah, we'll see. This is spontaneous. Let's start with Recordame and looking at how McCoy comps the first A section. So just based on my listen this morning, he hits what we call the so what voicing, right? Because it's the same voicing that we use in so what. And it's a chordal voicing, fourth, 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 and then with a major third on the top. It's very specific voicing, variation on a chordal, because it starts on the root of whatever the minor chord is. So in this case, A minor. And we go up fourths, pure fourths, and then we hit a major third here, which gives us the 1, 4, 7, 3, and 5. And this one is a nice bridge into our voicing pairs idea. So in this case, you go up a whole step, right? And this is the same thing that happens in So What. Except McCoy starts here, boom, goes up. And what this creates is movement through the A Dorian mode. Okay, A Dorian being minor with a natural 6, flat 7. Movement through the mode. These notes are all in the mode. And as we move up 1, we wind up a whole step parallel, but in moving up the mode. And essentially, if you want to call this an A minor 7, A minor 11, we call this a B minor 11. But it's like playing the 2 chord in the mode. So it's A and B, but these are just chords in the A Dorian mode, right? Joe Henderson didn't write on his chart for Recordame A minor 7, B minor 7. He just wrote A minor, right? A minor 7, A minor. I don't know exactly what his original chart was, but we all know it's just A minor 7. And it's like A minor with a 6 or a 13. And I think McCoy goes here next. So this is another thing that we're going to get into. There's so much contained just in this like first 4 bars of McCoy comping that I want to touch on today. So I thought it'd be a good place to start. Chordal, going up, this creates a pair. See this? So we have in, out, Just register that in your brain to start and in your fingers. Then we're creating melodic movement with the top note. Okay, melodic movement. We're voicing a melody. Da, da, da. Now, there's different ways that we could do this. If we kept going up the scale, da, da, da. But the thing about this voicing in the scale, it has a minor 9th. It's very harsh. You know, it's possible, but I would say it's probably less than desirable in most cases. And so what McCoy does, he adds an octave with his right hand, with the pinky, and goes back to the same voicing. It's possible that he's here, but I'm pretty sure he's here. And then he's going to keep going. Now the melody goes to C minor. And so as he keeps going up the melody, This winds up on C minor. And what McCoy does is plays a full quartal voicing on C minor. Fourth down, fourth down, fourth down. You may notice this is not a perfect fourth. That's because we're conforming it to the scale to start, to the C Dorian minor mode. And then I think he goes up. And then I forget what happens after that. Maybe like that. He may stretch out the octave again. And then maybe he goes up. And then he goes into quartal voicings. Something like that. All of that is just like nice two-handed voicings, 2 or 3 notes in the left hand, triads in the right hand in general. Right, so now we can kind of follow McCoy's lead. I want to say one more thing about what McCoy has done by how he comped on that. He created a part. He didn't do it exactly the same both times, but very, very close. And he created a part that became like kind of it almost becomes like a quintessential, almost as if Joe Henderson composed it, which I don't think he did. I think that McCoy created this part, and then he comes back to it when they come back around and do the head a second time. Sorry. And the reason I'm almost 100% certain that McCoy didn't, that Joe didn't write that part is because as McCoy goes into comping through the rest of the tune, he's very just like creative and loose rhythmically, not always nailing the melody rhythm, which, as an educator, if my student were learning this tune, I'd be like, you should hit the melody right here, right? That hits on two. But actually, McCoy on the first 2 heads never hits that 2 on G minor. He's like anticipating it or delaying it. It's interesting. Go back and listen. I was surprised when I listened myself. So anyway, but McCoy's given us a lot of ideas to work with, and I want to drive home the point for you that when we have cool ideas like that to work with, that then we can absorb them and they become strategies for us. All right, they can be very specific things. They're like, McCoy did this. Cool. You can do McCoy's thing, but also you can just take McCoy's strategy if you really learn it and think about what is he doing here and all the different aspects. All right, so just to recap one more time, parallel voicings that give us a pair and an in and out, in, out, in. Following a melody, voicing a melody. Da, da, da. In this case, rather than going up the scale, he's stretching out the voicing and adding a pinky. Da, da, da. Then using chordal voicings again. Da, 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 da. And I forget exactly what he does. Right, and you can go into comping the changes from there. All right, etc. There's lots of possible ways to comp those chords, and it's more of a specific song study than I want to do today. But I wanted to start there, and now we're going to continue to broaden out and deepen our comping study with how do we practice this stuff so it becomes accessible in performance. Okay, so first, we got to practice our chordal voicings, any voicings, but especially chordal voicings as jazz cats through the scale. Okay, so if we're going to take our so what chordals with the major third on top, we go like this. And just keep that set of notes locked to the mode. You got to see that mode as like a pop out texture on the piano. All white notes except for F sharp. When we get to C, Dorian, we're going to have two black notes. We're going to have E flat and B flat. All right, see that mode popping out at you. Now you take your shape and you move it through. Okay, through the scale. Once you can do that, all right, there's two things that you can do. One is practice voicing a melody with that. Two is move into parallel shapes. And also, before we go to either of those, I just want to use a fully chordal voicing. So no so what variation with the third on top. All right, so we're going to go fourth, 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 fourth. Now, notice I'm doing 3 in my right, 2 in my left in terms of voices. I much prefer this myself, but if you prefer 3 in the left, 2 in the right, and that works for your brain and it works for your hands, go for it. When you're comping chordal voicings in your left hand, you're going to be 3 notes mostly. So it's definitely not a bad thing to practice this with your left hand doing 3 notes, all right? And practicing this with one hand alone, right? Just your left hand comping in particular. Also your right hand potentially, like if you were going to, you know, play a bass line if you were in a duo or something. Etc., right? Being able to do that with your right hand comping, with your left hand comping, and comp through, etc., right? It's really, really important practice. Okay, let's go back to 2 hands though, because this is where I want to focus most of my attention today. So we're going to go through the A Dorian minor scale with 2-handed voicing, all fourths. If you're a fan of Miyazaki movies, as I am, you may notice some of these sounds start to become a little reminiscent of Miyazaki's great film score companion, Joe Hisaishi. And Joe Hisaishi, or Hisaishi, is one of the great film scores of all time. Draws a lot from jazz piano stuff and uses chordal voicings a lot to create these really cool sounds, especially up high. They're haunting, right? All right, go and check that out. It's like Spirited Away soundtrack, Howl's Moving Castle, all of the old Studio Ghibli movies are great too. I like some of the older ones even better than the newer ones, like Nausicaa. All right, so this is a practice. We're only in A Dorian right now. We can do this in any key, in any mode. All right. Obviously, if you start just calculating that 12 keys every single mode and doing like so what voicings and pure chordal voicings, two hands and just left hand and just right hand, you're in like, oh shoot, months and months of practice, right? Just start with one. Start with, one type of voicing that you feel really good about and one key that you really need to be in, and then start multiplying by like 3 in terms of keys. So you can get the different shapes on the piano. If you're going to do it that way, I highly recommend going chromatic. So if you go in A, then go to B flat, figure that out, then go to B, and see how my shapes are changing, right? I have like all white notes here, 1 black note. Here I have like all black notes plus 1 white. And then it changes. Then I have like more white notes. Then we go to B, and you have all white notes, 1 black again, but then lots of black notes. And if you go to C, you have a different distribution. And those will, once you get past like 4 half steps, those shapes will start to more or less recycle. And then your hands can start to feel this like, oh, it's here, and then it's like here, and then it's here, right? So this is like parallel. Then my thumb's a little further up, and I wind up with this shape rather than this, right? And these are subtle things, but when you get to B, right, this is actually really important to feel these different shapes, right? And to just get comfortable with that, not only comfortable, but really like automatic. And that takes repetition, period, right? Okay. Yeah. Umiharu, great exercise, definitely. All right. So we've gone through the scale in 2 different ways, with this voicing and with this voicing. Now let's think about melody. So when McCoy was comping, he was going ba-da-dee, and then da-da-dee-da, something like that. Let's just come up with a melody like ba-da-da-dee. How about that? Simple. 1 down to 5. All right, so how about quartals? You can think about this from bottom up or top down. Dee-da-da-da. But always the melody note, whatever you're considering the melody, is the top note. Now, inner voices, etc., can put you in a mindset of like every note is a melody, and yes, but when you're comping like this, your top note is the one that's creating a perceived melody. All right, if we were going to do this in the so what voicing, it would be a third, dee da da da. That's cool. And we can switch in between. Fourths, fourths. So what? So what? In C. Or Whew. This one is bright. Whew. We got the 7, 3, 13, 9, 5. Love it. Or beta, so what? Or also what? Kind of harsh, but it could be cool. This one, not a really happy place to land. But if you're in a melodic flow, a motivic development, a response, comping to a soloist, a supporting of the melody, a lot of those maybe little incongruities that happen from sticking with like a solo voicing shape or, you know, whatever, just trying to shift gears as you go through, they don't matter nearly as much as the overall intention. And that's what I love about thinking strategically, is it gives a vehicle for your intention that like you can work on refining and perfecting, but it's not in order to transmit your intention, it's not reliant on perfection. Now, I want you to really take that in for a second, right? Strategic thinking is a vehicle to play with intention where you can still transmit that intention without it being completely tied to perfection. Now, in practice, we can refine and always aim towards perfection. But how many of us are actually going to achieve perfection? And for those of us who do glimpse it and touch it, how long can we maintain it? Is it 80% of every show at the highest level? Maybe 90% at the very, very highest level? I'd love to hear from somebody who feels like they've played a 100% perfection show. I can almost guarantee you that they would say it wasn't perfection because every note was right. It was perfection because of other things, right? Because of the connection there, because of the force of the intention, the clarity of intention, the beauty, the beautiful, maybe unplanned connections that happen and creativity in their improvisation or in spontaneous moments. So just take that in, keep that, all right? Please keep that. All right. Now, we've gone through comping in the scale. I want to show you how to change that to parallel. Okay, this is really cool. Now, if we're in so what voicings, we want to keep a melody in the scale. Da, 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 dee, da, dee. Let's see. Da, da, dee, da, da, da. So, and we're going up here. Instead of keeping everything in the scale, we are going to make our voicings parallel. Fourths, fourths, major third. Fourths, fourths, major third. Fourths, fourths, major third. Fourths, fourths, major third. Ba, da, da, da. pretty fun. This is out. This is out. We're on A minor. Let's voice some melody. That's a good one, right? In fourths. Woo! Da, 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 da. Woo. I don't like that one as much. Woo! But it's pretty fun. Woo! Oh, what am I doing wrong? There it is. What am I doing wrong? I was messing up my intervals. Okay, just to clarify, I'm keeping my melody in the mode with my pinky. Everything else I'm keeping parallel to whatever voicing structure I want to keep it. These are quartal voicings, but we could use clusters or some kind of textural voicing. Sometimes it's fun to use diminished on this kind of thing. And then find a way out depending on where you're going. Sometimes it's cool to use clusters like this. Or like closer clusters, like seconds and thirds. Now this is in the scale. That's in the scale. Let's say we like this one. This is parallel. Cool stuff, right? So many possible creative extrapolations of this stuff. Okay, so now I went fast through that, but this is on video. You can go back and look at it. I've got worksheets and stuff if you want to join the community, if you want to join the mastery group, etc. You can get access to all of that stuff. Ooh, Nutville, good one. Yeah. Very good. Yes. All right. There's so many cool references for these things. Like, you know, none of this is new, right? Duke Ellington. I mean, we go all the way back, right? All of the cats have been using things like this. I'm just trying to demystify it for you and give you a window into ways of thinking about it and ways of practicing it that help it make sense, and decontextualize it just from like, okay, this is just this cool thing in this tune, like how Horace does that thing on Nutville, versus like, this is a tool that I can use, practice, and utilize creatively. All right, so let's skip ahead here to we did in and out pairs. Let's go to 5 to 1s, because 5-to-1s are so important for this kind of stuff. And this is really a next level thing. So if we're talking about like pro level comping, you've got to start to be able to incorporate 5-to-1 comping pairs. Okay, so let's should we stay in Recordame? I mean, we're here. What if we go to the let's go somewhere else. What about the Bridge of Caravan? All right. And then we go to F7. Okay. So we have, what is this? 4 bars on F7. Yeah, 4 bars on F7. 4 bars on B flat 7. And we have a really cool melody, actually. Let's use this with voicing the melody and create a 5-to-1 pair here. This would, I guess, officially be our quartal voicing. Maybe 3 notes in each hand. I'm going to simplify here to this guy. It's kind of a variation on a quartal with a major third in here. Good one for a dominant 7. This would be a great one for like a major. Right? 3, 6, 9, 5, root. But with the dominant, we'll go 3, dominant 7, 9, 5, root. Now, da, if we were following quartals, D, da, in a F Mixolydian mode, there's a so what. You know, this would be my other variation, a quartal variation. This is too low for me, so I'm definitely using so what variation right there. And let me just say, this is after I've gone through and I understand F Mixolydian mode. I can go be ba 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 be ba, right? And I can go quartal. So what quartals? Okay, I can play some melodies with those. Maybe also we could do parallels, right? What would it be? Following. Cool. If I was doing fourths, woo! Oh shit! Man, those quartals in parallel are wild. When you get to the out side of them. Okay, so we're here. Ba, 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 ba. That's quartals, voicing that melody. But this to me is the obvious place to get a 5-to-1 because we have non-chord tone to a chord tone. So what's our 5 chord on F? C7, right? C7, let's see. Ba. Oh. This is kind of fun. doing a 9 on a C7. Whoops. And a sharp 9. It's a little unorthodox, but actually I really like it. Let's see, what would another possibility? We could do a 5-to-1 tritone sub. So F sharp dominant. Maybe like this. I'm letting go of my chordal voicings in order to accommodate the F sharp here. What if we use this one as the 5? C dominant 7 with a sharp 5, sharp 9. That's pretty fun. So what would precede C7? D flat 7, G7, D7 alt, G13, flat 9. Whoa. I like that. B7. So, different variations. Yeah, some really fun possibilities when you add the 5-to-1. Now, how to practice this? I want you to think about your quartals, your in and out pairs. So, if we're on an F7, and we are, let's say, here. This is a very commonly used chordal voicing on dominant 7. 7, 3, 6, aka 13, 9, and 5. Okay, let's use this one. Chordal pair. Just up 1 and back. You could go down 1 and back. In, out, in, out, in. Okay? It's in the same way you have a non-chord tone on either side of a chord tone, you have an out voicing on either side of a chord tone if you have your chord voicings in a scale. Well, we also have a 5. So this might be, again, a little bit tense sharp 9, flat 13, and a natural 9. I like it though. So instead of here, and I want you to play with those, okay? In the scale out and the 5 to 1 out. And then also the parallel out. So parallel, if we keep the shape, and what you'll wind up with is multiple very nuanced pathways of creating tension and release, right? All of the out variations are tension in a little bit different way. So you have your in, and then you have this out, or this out, or this out. All right, where's this one? It's this one. Parallel. There's the scale. There's parallel. What would dominant 7 from here be? Maybe like that? Or this? I'm not thinking about C. I'm actually, or F sharp. Although, like, they could kind of be considered that. I'm thinking of E. And that is our other way, which is chromatic parallels, okay? And chromatic can be parallel, exactly parallel, or it can be chromatic dominance, or it could be other chromatic flavors. Chromatic, like diminished, it could be chromatic flavor change with like common tones, certain common tones, whether that's your 3rd and the 7th or others. So for here, melody is here, we can think of E7 with this sharp 11. Here is our out. If we're thinking parallel chromatically, well, this is a whole step down. There's our chromatic parallel. So we might. And we can think about chromatic parallels to give us that tension and release. All right, I'm just going to pause right here because that's basically all the things that I wanted to touch on. And I want to just kind of check in with anybody who's on board with us here. Okay. Looks like my Zoom chat is quiet. And does anybody want to jump in? Does anybody want to jump in with a question? Solomon! I see you saying preach. A question or an insight. I've got maybe 15 minutes left in which I could address things that y'all are interested in, or if anybody wants to get on and get in on like a screen share action, I can put the Zoom in the chat. I see that we got some people on Instagram Live. That's cool. Let's see if I can do that. All right. Copy invite link. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to do links on Instagram, of course, but there's the Zoom link if anybody wants to just hop on in our last 15 minutes onto Zoom, and you could screen share, show me what you're working on, or ask a question directly. But I can see the chat coming through YouTube and Instagram right now. So any questions on this voicing stuff, or insights, or cool things, if we could listen to something together and talk about it, I'm at your disposal for a few minutes here. So you tell me. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pull up Record Me until I hear from one of y'all. And we'll do a little screen share. Let's see if we can get this up here. Allow. Oh boy, it's got everything in there. Let's just only do this. There we go. All right, there's a question. All right, and we can also listen to McCoy and just like really take in how he does this, because I think it's pretty brilliant. But let me address Umiharu's question. If you land on outside voicing, do you try to resolve? Yeah. So as is the answer to most things, it depends. And let me just say, it really depends on your intention. But what is your intention based on? Is your intention based on a melody you want to play? Is it based on a tension you want to create? Is it based on the supporting something else that's happening, whether that's the melody of a song, or the whatever a soloist just played? So let's say we're in back in Record Me, and we're doing what McCoy did, right? So in this case, let's say I was going to do that. I might play a quartal to support the melody, and then do a 5, and resolve. This is an F7 flat 9, right, with the 13. And resolve to a B flat major. So that's a case of I'm creating tension that supports where the melody's going and releasing it with the melody. Now, if I wanted to be like particularly spicy, let's say, what can I do here that might be out to start, right? So let's let's look at what's in. This is in, another thing we can do, this kind of brings up another thing. There's ways to relate this to like parallel movement, but honestly, I don't think of this as parallel movement. I think about this as moving, keeping the top note and moving the other notes. So it is parallel. Yeah. But we're keeping this guy here. And if we're used to using these shapes, and then we can pretty easily shift, keep that top note, and go to this shape or this shape or this shape. So yeah. Yes. So Miharu was asking A minor, the B minor one, this guy is the weaker one. Yeah, and I honestly, like, strong and weak, I don't know, like, tension is pretty strong, actually. It's the tension and the resolution is the way I think of it, tension and release. So we have ba 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 da ba or da 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 Whoa, that's low. It's probably too low. Maybe we got to make it a diminished. All right. So many fun possibilities. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to do this basically every other week. And I'm not always going live to the public, but if you want access to always the Zoom link and the community where I'm posting all sorts of things, and where you have access to my master classes for free on like developing your personal musical voice and many other things, you can just join the inspired community, inspired contemporary pianist community. Pop on my website, peterjohnstoltzman.com, if you're not already there, and if you're in a position where you're like, I don't know where the link is, just go to peterjohnstoltzman.com. And and there's lots of other opportunities. I'm giving lessons now too, so if anybody wants to just sign up for a lesson, you can sign up for a lesson. We do them like this over Zoom or in person here in my teaching studio. And I hope you're all doing well. I hope music is feeding you. There's so many things that feel like they're sucking away our energy right now, and I'm feeling that like crazy sometimes. So I'm just still so grateful for music. It gives me life and inspiration and joy and connection and purpose. Gosh, it's a lot of things. And yeah, I hope y'all are taking care, hanging in there, and I will see you sometime. Peace, y'all.